Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and in this video, I'm going to give you an April 2022 update on what is going on with material costs across the construction world. And we're really going to hit four major categories. We're going to hit lumber, we're going to hit concrete and block, we're going to hit windows, because that's always a hot topic, and then we're going to hit the actual fixture market, which is like the finishings and stuff like that, because there's an interesting point about those that I want to bring up. So first off, let's start off with everybody's favorite topic, and that's lumber. Everybody loves talking about what's going on with lumber prices, what's happening. So lumber prices as a whole have not really moved over the past 6 months. They have been very stable, they've been very flat. Now that said, they are flat and stable at a higher rate than they were 2 years ago. So for example, a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood that maybe would have been $30 last year, or maybe $35, is now around $60. So we're talking about probably an 80% increase in the cost of lumber from 2 years ago, but now that's the new normal. We haven't seen a lot of increases in that. It's been staying actually relatively flat. And now I'm talking about what you would go to Home Depot or a big box store, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's, what you would find there. Obviously, if you have a lumber supplier that buys in bulk and just does lumber, they might have a couple dollars less of a price, but this is what we're seeing in the Tampa Bay area. That's where I'm located. So lumber, relatively flat, not a lot of big price spikes or anything like that. The second piece that I wanted to talk about is concrete block and concrete itself. Those tend to go hand in hand because they have a lot of similar ingredients, and a lot of the plants that make the concrete also make the concrete block. So what we're seeing is that this one really has crept up on me, to be honest with you, but I reviewed some statements last month and was kind of shocked by what I found. Over the past 8 months, so from mid 2021 through 2022, the first parts of 2022, concrete and block has just slowly, steadily crept up to the point to where we are now 40% higher in cost than we were last year. Now, in addition to that, I'll give you a little bonus in here. Rebar prices have nearly doubled. Now, rebar is already an inexpensive item, and if you're building a home, you know, maybe you'll buy, you know, rebar comes in either 10 or 20 foot sticks. Maybe if you're building a whole 2,000 square foot home, you'll buy 40 or 50 sticks of rebar. Even if they doubled in price, they were only 10 or 15 bucks a stick. So it wasn't expensive to start, but it has doubled. So now that, you know, $600 item is now a $1,200 item. So little things like that are starting to really creep up. And so in concrete and block, what we're also finding is that the labor is really starting to move on that as well, because there's just not as many people. Like, there's just so much building going on in Florida, especially in the Tampa Bay area, that there's really a labor shortage in terms of block masons and doing concrete. So if you do that and you're coming down here, hit me up, because we have a lot of work for that at what I see as ridiculously high prices for what we have to pay right now, but it is what it is, we pay it. So that handles the concrete and block. And then we go into everybody's favorite topic, which is windows. So windows have just continued to just freaking pound away and just go up and up and up and up. And we just got notification about 3 weeks ago that in May we're getting another 8% price increase on the cost of our windows from our window supplier. So we are now double what we were 2 years ago for the cost of windows in Florida. And by the way, I was naively under the impression, because we mostly just buy impact windows, I was under the impression that this was only affecting impact windows. I mean, I knew there would be somewhat of an effect on the non-impact, but the effect on the impact, obviously, they were already high 2 years ago. Now they're double that. The non-impact windows, that really has surprised me. They have just matched the impact windows in the price rising, like 1 for 1. So if the impact windows go up 10%, the non-impact have gone up 10% as well. So we have some really, really crazy price movements going on with windows, and that's just something that we're having to deal with. Luckily for us, windows are like the first thing that we buy at the beginning of a project, because we are still in a situation where windows take 3 to 4 months to get in from the time that we're ordered. So luckily, when we take a construction deposit, we get something under contract, we typically are buying the windows within 2 to 4 weeks of actually receiving the deposit. So that's when it's still in the permitting phase. I mean, we're not needing the windows for 3 months at that point. So usually we're getting the windows right around when they're ready to go in. There's only one project where we're maybe 2 or 3 weeks delayed due to windows. It's not like we're talking 4 months on windows. It's just a couple weeks because the delivery date got bumped. So windows and doors, still taking a long time to come in. I will say that non-impact windows do come in much faster than impact. The impact manufacturers are just bogged down. And so that's the situation with your windows right there. Now, in addition to that, aluminum has been jumping as well, but I'll save that for a future video. Now, the last thing is the finished materials and fixtures. So when I say fixtures, I'm thinking doorknobs, faucets, shower heads, bathtub kits, bathtubs. These type of things have barely moved from 2 years ago. I mean, there's maybe been a 5% increase over the past 2 years, but almost nothing. So what I would predict is that there is a possibility that could start to move here in the future, because what you tend to see is a ripple effect in the construction industry. Is one thing starts to really just like boop, like get really inflated, and what they do is that can be due to material shortage or labor shortage. Typically it's kind of both tied together. So all of a sudden the wages go up there, and now they suck the talent and the energy out of different sectors of the construction industry. So you'll see wages shoot up here, and whew, they pull the talent out of this other piece of the construction industry. So what you see is these price moves cannot stay isolated just by the nature of how it works, because a construction worker is always looking for the next best thing. I mean, look, why deal with them all today? Let's call a spade a spade. A construction worker is always looking for the next best thing that's going to pay him more. So if he sees that all of a sudden he can get out of the field and go work at a truss plant and make $35 an hour just hitting a nail gun building trusses, he's going to go build trusses. And now all of a sudden the people out in the field have to raise their wages from 20 to 25 an hour to go and get more laborers from, let's say, you know, the guy who's under the house is doing plumbing making 25 an hour now can do it in construction, where at least he doesn't have to be under a house and dealing with nasty stuff. He can go frame houses instead, which is more fun. Now it sucks it out of the plumbing field. And you see that round robin of the revolving door of the construction industry just go round and round, raising prices. And really, at the end of the day, it just comes down to lack of production, but that's a issue for a different video. So I hope you got some value out of this. I hope that this is helping to set your expectations for what prices is. We have seen that overall across the board, if you take all the price moves, our pricing internally, our actual base cost, has gone up about 25% over the last 2 years. So obviously, we just do a straight markup situation with our pricing. So our pricing has gone up by 25% over the last 2 years. So a room addition that 2 years ago, you know, would have been maybe, I don't know, $200 a square foot. Now it's $250 a square foot. So, and vice versa, if one would have been $250, now it's over $300. And so we're just seeing that just continually bumping up, that revolving door. When you sit on top of all of it, like we do as a general contractor, and you're responsible for managing all of the different trades and all of those different cost increases, the whole thing just continues to ratchet up. So you'll obviously see that price of housing going up as new home builds get more and more expensive, which means that existing homes will be more in demand, the prices of houses will keep going up, and it's just gonna be a crazy continual rise in prices over the next, 10 to 20 years in the state of Florida. So hope that brought you some value. If it did, hit the subscribe button below. If you have a construction project that you're thinking about doing in the state of Florida, even if you're not in the Tampa Bay area, send a message to us or go to homelove.construction/design, and we can actually help you design your custom home or your renovation. We do both. So go there for help on the design side. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate your attention. See you in the next vid. Peace.